Hello, my name is Bill Keach, and today I'd like to talk about the new GIT integration in the Sun IDE version 10.6. GIT is a free and open source distributed version control system that many companies use in their IDEs. For use in the Sunbelt IDE, you'll have to download a version of GIT from the GIT website. If you have GIT installed, when the IDE is brought up, it will actually indicate that GIT is installed. To support GIT, we've added 2 more tabs and, as well, a GIT menu item. To add GIT to a project, you come down, you select Options, and there is a new Version Control tab that you select. When you check the box to enable GIT version control, it will set up the default repository folder, which you can change. The default branch, which will be named main, and it will also load in the username and email set up when you installed GIT. If you wish, you can change any of these things to what you wish. It also allows a remote repository for those of you who wish to use something like GitHub. Once you press OK, the first thing that will happen will be a new git ignore file will be made, and there will be an initial commit of all the various files inside the project. The git ignore file can be used to prevent various files from being tracked by the source code control system. It can be seen by selecting in the Git menu the list ignored files, which will show you all the files that are currently being ignored inside your project. You can also look at and edit the actual git ignore file itself, which you will see is set up in a very specific format, and that format is described on the Git website. Once you've set Git up with the project, any changes will now be seen inside the changes folder. So in this case, if we come in and we edit a program and we decide to change something in it, in this case we'll just add something to the comment. We can now go over, once we save, and it'll be indicated in the changes, and when we take a look at it, it will show us a small description of what the changes are within inside the file. The changes tab will show an M for modified, an A for added, and a D for deleted. When you're happy with your changes, then you can commit the changes by coming down, adding a description, perhaps, of the changes, and pressing the Commit to Main button. It'll tell you that the changes are committed, and now in history, we have what has happened with the changes. Of course, the other option that you have is that when you edit something and you decide that you don't like the changes, in this case we'll save it, come back here, we see it's modified. We do have the option to back out the changes. We can right click, we can view the changes, and of course we can roll back all the various checked files. In this case, we have one file. We will say roll it back. The file that has the changes will actually be moved into the recycling bin. And when we go back to the project and take a look at the file, we'll see that it has got the information I removed back in it. So that's the basic function. of Git, being able to save off changes when you like, or being able to back them out and being able to track the changes inside your project. One advanced feature of Git is the ability to make a new branch or to clone your project. Making the new branch allows you to work on two sets of code at the same time. So in this case, we're going to create a new branch, and we're going to call it new code 1. And what that allows me to do is it allows me to start making changes in the new branch. And in this case, what we're going to do is change themes again, and we'll save it. And under changes, we'll just say removed here. Commit it to the new code 1 branch. And at this point, we can also swap back and forth between branches. So I could go back to the original main branch. And when I go back to the original main branch and take a look at theme sample, you'll see it still looks like the original. If I go back to new code 1 branch, which will close off all the files, and I look at theme, it contains my changes so that I can continue on a new branch with a series of changes without affecting the perhaps main branch of the code. Now I can take that new branch and eventually, either if I decide not to keep all the changes or how I've been changing the program, I can delete that branch. Or what I can do is also take that branch, and if I decide that all of my changes are good, then I can merge it back into the main branch. Now, deleting or merging a branch requires you to first go to the branch that you want to work with. For example, the branch that you want to merge into. Then going and selecting in the Git the merge branch. So the active branch is main. The branch we want to merge into main is new code. And we say OK. And what that would do is it would then merge the changes in new code into main. So that when I look at the sample this time, we'll see that the change, which was the removal of that part of the comment, is now back into the main branch. When I'm done working with the other branch, then I can come into Tools, go to Git, say remove the branch in this case, and I can select new code 1, and I can say yes, and new code branch is now removed, and the only branches I have are main. This is a good way of being able to do a series of changes, decide whether you like them, and either merge them back into your main branch or just remove them. This has been a brief look at the various functions that you can perform with Git. Please feel free to look at some of the other abilities inside the Git menu, and at the same time look up the various things that we put in the user's manual. Thank you for listening, and hopefully in the future you'll use Git with your Sun IDE.